Guangzhou is never high on the list of places to go in China, right? The city not being very good at promoting what it has.
Hi everyone, welcome to Guangzhou Expat channel. Today we have a very special guest. Welcome to the studio, Bram.
I organize tours of Guangzhou on bike, on foot. I'm one of the co-founders of Bunga Monkey, telling you where to go and where to have fun in Guangzhou.
Yes, we already made a video with Kara, with your partner, so go check that out after this video.
I learned Chinese, but not with Sarah. I work with city governments on improving their traffic and building better cities for people to live and work. Been here for 10 years.
I would really like to know, where does your story with China and Guangzhou, when did it start?
First time was in 2006, when I asked my professor to send me to a crazy place far away. And I was here for 4 months doing research study. And I loved it. I had not prepared at all. I had no idea of China other than, I guess, all the standard ideas in the West we have about China: gray, polluted, everyone looks the same, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So I came with like no to if maybe that kind of vision of China, and it completely blew me away. People are always outside.
Yeah.
People are together. People are lively. People are chatting, especially in the older neighborhoods where you still find the traditional lifestyles. People sit outside. The Ais and the Susus, they're sitting on these plastic stools outside. The kids are chasing the cats in the alleyways. Someone's hanging the laundry. There's a hairdresser on the street corner. So that really is the life that I experienced when I got here.
Yeah, and what you're describing now, you can still see it here.
Yes.
Every day, going to the neighborhoods.
Yeah. What's special about Guangzhou as well is that on the one hand you have the new town and you have all the luxuries and comfort of modern life, and for us Westerners there's plenty of Western options too. But on the other hand you have the old town where alleyways are so tiny that cars can't go in and life is really lived outdoors.
Exactly.
So it's a great mix. There's so many faces to Guangzhou. It can be very modern and futuristic and Ferraris and Bugattis driving through New Town, which contrasts completely with the old town where you have the best food in the tiniest places for near to nothing, which is probably better than most of the food in the shopping malls here. And then you have areas where there's very international folks, a lot of traders from Africa, from the Middle East, from the West, all bringing in their cuisines, their fashion, their music, and it really blends quite nicely, and it all coexists and intertwines. It's a really fascinating city that should be visited by more people.
What made you make that decision to move here?
Yeah, it wasn't really a decision. I wonder how many people look back and trace back their steps, like, how do I get here? I don't know. I guess it all just happens by accident, and if it feels right, then you just go along with it. But Guangzhou was going to host the Asian Games in 2010, like the Olympics for Asian countries and sports. And much of my work in 2006 was in preparation for those games. Guangzhou underwent a huge makeover before 2010. I wanted to just come and experience the Asian Games. I wanted to see what had been done with my work. I had stayed in touch with my colleagues, and the Guangzhou BRT was going to be done, so I wanted to go and see. So I came for 3 months, loved it, and that turned into a year, and we never had another talk about how long I was actually going to stay for, because it was 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of people here. I think they're going to be, come here, experience it, and then always say, one more year, one more year.
This one is a map of Guangzhou in 1860.
Wow.
So that's 160 years ago. It shows in pink the oldest parts of the city, which are the areas inside the city wall. Yeah, like in Xi'an, still today you have the city wall, right?
Yeah.
Or parts of it. And Guangzhou was also a walled city. What you see is that there was only little development outside of the walled areas, which are what you would now call the Yueshu district and the Liwan district. But Liwan wasn't that developed at that time. No. The other side of the river, Haiju, was only developed a little bit on the western side. And then Xiamen had just been built. Just built. Yeah. So this was the time right after the Second Opium War, the time that the British Navy defeated the Chinese and claimed Xiamen as the new foreign concession in the city. Ersha Island was still 2 islands. A lot actually happened there. Yeah, Ersha Island there was nothing. Dongshankou just started developing.
Yeah.
But Newtown is not even on the map.
Yeah, it's not important, at the time.
Let alone Baiyun or Haiju even or Panyu, none of that. Exactly. So yeah, it shows one that the city has grown a lot. The stories that the things that happened here in Guangzhou, this city shaped over and over again the fate of the country. Every major revolution in modern Chinese history happened here in Guangzhou, from opium wars to the fall of the Qing dynasty, to the rise of communism, to the economic reform and opening up in the 1980s. Everything happened in Guangzhou or in this region. It's a city of rebels. It's a really interesting city, but the stories are hidden. What I see for Guangzhou, well, you can see for yourself in the Urban Planning Exhibition Center. There you can see what Guangzhou is going to be like in 2050, I think, 2030. What you see, I think, is 2 things. Again, old and new. The new is going to keep going. Guangzhou, the new town is going to expand further east. On the other hand, Old Town is going to stay. Beijing and Shanghai have demolished most of their old towns. Guangzhou has not. And by now, due to a couple of things, I think the Old Town is mostly going to remain. The 2 reasons are, one, the city has big efforts on historical protection of buildings. There's, I think, close to 2,000 buildings in the city historically protected. But more importantly, more and more people and more companies start realizing the value of what's left in the Old Town, and started realizing that, I don't want to office in this like steel and glass skyscraper in New Town on the 17th floor. I want to be in a historic villa in the Old Town, and I'm willing to pay money for that. It's fine. You start seeing so many places around Old Town. Beijing Lu is one area where you see this a lot, but it's happening everywhere, where these old areas really get refurbished, redone, and cool little like independent places are popping up everywhere. The planning museum, you see that they're basically not going to touch the Old Town, which is good.
Yes, that's amazing.
It's good that the government is not planning anything there, really, because the people will.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the future of Guangzhou. So it keeps pushing big developments towards the east and the south, but the Old Town is going to remain. If we're just a little better at telling other people about it and incorporating or bringing other people to enjoy our Cantonese lifestyle, I think Guangzhou has a bright future.